good, everybody? It's your boy Reftaco, and today we are back with another video on the Reftaco Eagles channel. And I want to hop on here and talk about the receiver room. A.J. Brown most likely gone after June 1st. It seems like that trade market is heating up, which is good. It doesn't seem like the Patriots are just going to be able to fleece us for him. But with that, we have a completely new offense with a completely new offensive coordinator and a completely new way that targets are going to get distributed. And I think that it's going to be good for the team. I think that it's not going to hurt us as much as we think because Mekhi Lemon can do his role in replacement. And Hollywood Brown and Darius Cooper's going to get some run. Maybe a guy like Johnny Wilson or Elijah Moore comes in. Dontavian Wicks, I didn't even talk about him. He's going to come in. I think that there are guys that are really going to step in and fill up some of these misused or some of these targets that won't be used anymore. So, yeah, let's get into it. Obviously, the first guy that I need to talk about is Devontae Smith because Devontae Smith is now the one. It's not 1A and 1B with Lemon. I like Lemon. It's not 1A and 1B the way that it was. He's the number one receiver, but I don't think that that's going to be met with this target share increase that maybe some people are expecting him to have. I think that people look at this and they see him as his number one receiver and, oh, he could go into that JSN role after they traded DK Metcalf or some things like that. And one, that just doesn't normally happen. Like we've seen it recently with JSN, kind of Puka and Cooper Kupp left. Like some things like that, but that's just not really how it usually is because a guy is going from a number two receiver to a number one receiver. He's going to be facing number one DBs. He's going to have safeties over the top now. You know, things like that is what normally happens. But I also just think that it's going to be a much more spread out offense target-wise. I think that Sean Mannion, you see what the Packers do. They have like 5 guys. They have Watson, Reed, Dobbs before last year, Golden, Wicks before this year, Savion Williams. Like, they have guys, and they just feed all of them. And I think that it's going to be a lot more even than people expect. I think that there are going to be other guys that are going to get numbers and going to get volume. I do think Devontae Smith is going to have the most targets because he can fit in a lot of those different roles that a lot of those guys seem much more specialized in when we're talking about like the Green Bay side. But I do think that he is going to be our number one receiver. I'm just not sure if he's going to have that increase in production that maybe people are expecting. Then I want to talk about Mekhi Lemon. Because Mekhi Lemon is going to be playing on the outside for this team. Most likely, Smitty's going to be in the slot. Most likely, if he's not, it's going to be Mekhi Lemon. But they want their top guy to be the slot receiver. But Mekhi Lemon's going to have to learn how to play outside receiver. Devontae Smith can do it, but they're going to want Devontae Smith on the inside a little bit more. I think Devontae Smith was very productive on the inside in those limited times that he would play there in these past offenses. But Mekhi Lemon, he's going to have to find new ways to get open, and it might not be the best for him early on. I think that his release package is nice, but he's not a guy that you really scheme the ball to because you don't really want Mekhi Lemon catching a screen. Like, it's not a bad thing, you know, but there's other guys that you would rather throw that screen to than a Mekhi Lemon. But Mekhi Lemon, he's just going to have the aggression and also the mindset, the mentality. I think over the season, we're going to see him really step away as the number 2. I think at the beginning of the year, I'm not sure if he's going to get much more targets than a Wicks or a Hollywood Brown or someone like that. But I think over time, he is going to step in. He's going to get more targets, and I think he's going to be a very important piece for this team at the end of the season. And so I do think that Mekhi Lemon will be very special and very important to this team in the future. This year specifically, it's going to take some time. He's not going to step in here and do what Justin Jefferson did in his rookie season. I hope he does. He's probably not going to. But let's just see how it goes. But I think that he's going to be a pretty good receiver for us, especially late in the year, and going to get a good amount of these targets. And then the guy that I think people need to have their eye on is Dontavian Wicks. He comes over from Green Bay, where Sean Mannion was. It seems like everybody really likes this dude. Seems like the Eagles have been kind of eyeing this guy for a few years now. And now you have him come over, and I think he is the number 3 receiver. I think that is very almost set in stone at this point because of the way that he's improved year over year. I think that people really expect a lot from him. There are some advanced analytics that were really good, things like that, and then that just boils over. I think that he's going to have a really good year. And you look at past offenses with Patullo and Kellen Moore and Brian Giant, everybody, the number 3 receiver didn't really get used. And I think that you are going to see this number 3 receiver get a lot of targets. I think AJ's targets are not just going to go to the 1 and 2. They're going to go to the 3, and they're going to go past the 3 the way that they did in Green Bay. But I think Dontavian Wicks is going to be a very good receiver. I think that he fits a lot of roles. I think he can do stuff, especially on the outside, which I feel like we need more. And so I think that Dontavian Wicks is going to be a very special and important player for this team this year. Then just kind of the other guys. Hollywood Brown comes over from the Chiefs. I think that this is a field stretcher. I think that this is going to be more meant as a deep threat than some quick to the line of scrimmage kind of guy, but he's not like this bad intermediate route runner. He doesn't have bad routes just because he's known for being fast and he's a little small. It doesn't mean he's just, gets bullied out there. But I think that Hollywood Brown will have a role. And then the 5th guy that I think will really have a role is Darius Cooper. I love Darius Cooper. I think that he is a blocker, which is very important, especially when you're under center in some of these angles where you want to get outside of these receivers, or you sometimes see it with some of these McVay, Shanahan type of guys. The receivers will motion and be at fullback. Think of Puka kind of, but the guy, what was his name? Skoranek. Skoranek would always motion. He'd be like a fullback for the Rams. And I feel like Darius Cooper could somewhat do that. Like, he's going to make a role just because of his run blocking and his physicality and his aggressiveness. But this was also a very good pass catcher. We saw him with Tanner McKee, especially in the preseason, but even a little bit in the regular season, really show up. We see him. He has nice routes. He does a lot of things really well. He's not a bad receiver. He was like the best receiver in FCS 2 years ago, which is pretty good. So I do think that Darius Cooper is going to carve out an important role. And then there's some other guys. Elijah Moore, I don't think he's making it. I think there's another guy that could make the team, like a Johnny Wilson maybe, because of special teams and things like that. Who's going to be back there returning punts? I'm not really sure. But whatever it is, I trust the Eagles and I trust Sean Mannion to figure it out, because I truthfully do believe in him and the way that they're going to disperse these targets, especially with most likely the absence of A.J. Brown. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.